Hey there, it's Jenny, and I am back to share with you how I'm going to plan next week in my Hemlock and Oak daily planner. This one is undated, and we're flipping back a little bit, looking at last week. And I have to start this out by saying I am so excited. That is the theme of this week, is that I get a little ahead of myself in a couple of spots because I'm so excited. I love this planner so much. I'm that much more excited than I thought I would be about this planner. And I know this was the same for last week as well. And so hopefully you're getting that genuine enthusiasm. I obviously could not wait to plan. There was so much sunlight, so I gave it a couple minutes so we'd have a little bit better visual right there, but I couldn't help myself. I had to stamp a couple of things while I waited for the light to pass on my scrapbook window. I am stamping the days of the week using this Everyday Explorer stamp set. It's currently at the moment sold out. It will be back soon. I am just stamping in the date section the day of the week and then stamping over it the date. So the April, whatever, 2022. I also covered the intentions section with the stamp that says notes. This is a different one than last week. I have so many stamps in my stash. I decided, you know what? Let's pull them all out. Let's try some different ones, see what I like best, see what works best. Heck, let's just try them. All right, so this half sort of circle stamp, so cute. Stamped it with the bubblegum ink from the ink market. I wanted something with a little bit more pop to it. I had been so limited in my Hobonichi, and so I'm really still sort of reeling from that and wanting to try all the darker, bolder colors. But I'm sure that'll get out of my system soon enough. I'm stamping this little tag with that circle. I see immediately I don't like it. It's not for me. But I'm not going to change it for today. I'm going to leave it. Now I'm going to also stamp, this is an old Scraptastic Club stamp, and that work. Perfect right there. I love it. Unfortunately, most of these stamps are sold out. The ones that are still available, I will link up for you below. But like, for example, I'm going to use a bunch of Sweet Stamp Shop stamps, not even in business anymore. So you can't even get those. Same thing with Scraptastic Club. I am so sorry. But maybe on like a buy-sell trade board for clear stamps, you might be able to find some. They are worth it. Every last penny. They are so amazing. All right, so this is a set of old Scraptastic Club icons. I have several of these actually, like different icons. So good. So we're going to stamp this little note, for my meal planning, the place setting down at the bottom in the corner, same as we did last week, just a different stamp. It worked out well to be able to put my dinner plans right there. All right, so over on the right hand side, we did that half circle again. And instead of using the little tag, I am going to pull out, it's like a little notebook pencil type thing. Helps me notate work type items. It's cute, right? So I'm going to use the Pebble ink from Close to My Heart to do that after I stamp work. So this cluster goes together so well. I absolutely love it. Look at that right there. Just all so perfect. The pink and the light gray and the black that really pops on this paper. So wonderful. All right, so again, sorry guys, that light, I was so excited though. I had to get to stamping. All right, so I'm going to clean off that day of the week circle. I want to incorporate circles in my layouts. I love them as a design element, but I find that they get hard to use in certain places. So I do have a couple this week on this layout. Honestly, I probably should have used a square down in the work to do section. Again, the excitement overtook me. I really wanted to only have one circle element, but I have two, so we're going to live with that. We're going to work with it, and luckily they both look fantastic. So we've got those circles up there in the date, and then we will use the roller date stamp to actually stamp the April 20 whatever up at the top right there together. I love that layering so much. That's definitely going to be something that I continue as I go through. That's one of the things that I want to point out. Since this is just my second week using this planner, I am really figuring out how to use it best for me. Luckily, I had already used the Hobonichi dailies for a long time, so I already knew how I like to break up the page. But in this particular planner, there are lots of different things about it. The binding is different, the paper is different, so sort of getting a hang of using this planner versus that one. So the layout, not so difficult, except for when we get to Saturday and Sunday, but that's different. But learning how to stamp right up next to the binding and getting good clean impressions, that'll take just a little bit as I finagle and try some different things, and also honestly just curbing my enthusiasm because I'm so excited about this planner. All right, so we've got that little circle stamped up there, and then we will stamp the date as well. Now, the right-hand side will be for Saturday and Sunday, so I'm just going to work on Friday for right now. So that notes, it really pops up there. I had considered trying a different color, maybe with a pink or something like that, but I just love how the black really pops on these layouts, especially then when I have the softer pink and the softer gray. It really just makes the blacks really stand out. Now over here on the right hand side, this is the Saturday and Sunday, and I like to break it into two columns. So I am going to stamp two little place settings down at the bottom for the dinners right there. And so it'll be basically a left column for Saturday, the right column for Sunday. And yeah, overall visually it seems to be working pretty well. Now I'm using my Tombow tape corrector to just mask off the heading up there. It's too distracting, honestly, with this being 2 days, so I just kind of need it to be gone. But I will figure this out as we go, like how it works better for me if I use washi or some other decorative type of thing. Now I'm going to do the same thing that I have been doing, using those circle stickers to mark the day of the week, and then I will use the roller date stamp for the date. I don't need any of this to be perfect. I just need it to be good, something that I feel really comfortable with. Especially after this week using these dailies and seeing them in action, I'm thrilled. And any of the minor mistakes do not bother me in the slightest. So I know that once it all comes together and it's actually something I'm using, I'm so happy with it. So this is just a great fit for me. Now I'm going to use these A Quick Note stamps from Everyday Explorers. They're currently sold out, but they are coming back in the shop. And then I'm also going to use the Catherine Pooler. Both of these I used last week, and you saw those if you were here. Now I will use these in the hourly section for the schedule. I'm just rubbing that on the back of my hand to prime the stamp. I wasn't sure if I'd use this one yet. And even firm pressure, and it turns out beautifully up there. Now, what I decided this week was that typically I alternate using like writing directly on the page and a sticker in my planning. And so I'm sort of considering these stamps as the stickers. I didn't love having just the highlighted. It didn't stand out enough for me. So when possible, I'm going to try to use box stickers or box stamps in this schedule to notate the plans so that it really catches my eye and it really stands out. But again, this is all sort of a work in progress. I might find something that works better for me as we go. I'm going to clean this block off real quick. I'm simply cleaning or spraying it with my stamp cleaner and then wiping it off. I will put this other box from the Catherine Pooler set. I'm going to place it right up on the left edge of the block. That way I can get as close to the binding as possible. Now, most of these right-hand pages, the stamping isn't going to be perfect because, again, as I said already, I'm learning how to stamp right next to this particular binding as well as possible. And I know you're thinking, why is that so difficult? It's just working out which blocks, the stamps, the binding, the ink, all of it together, what works well. It'll take a couple weeks and then I'll never remember that it was a problem. So, and really, honestly, it's not a huge problem. It's a teeny tiny problem. I'm loving this Everyday Explorer stamp set. There's so many cute little stamps that work really wonderfully for this application. It's just, they're adorable and they look really cute. And then they're super functional. Like I'm able to write the things all in that box. The size is fantastic. I absolutely love it. Now again, I'm going to use the icon stamps in the little Catherine Pooler boxes. Now hers do come with some icons and they're very adorable. I like to tie them to the theme of the activity sometimes. And so here, like I used a little clock, for example, and I used the bubblegum ink, giving it a little bit more interest. I could have absolutely used the black ink, but I just wanted to make it a bit more interesting. Now over on the right hand side, that little focus box, I love this. These are like must-dos, really important for me. And so I like having that there very much. Now this thicker box, I did the same thing. I put the stamp over on the left-hand edge of the block, and it really is having great success. It's just that smaller Catherine Pooler one that's a little bit more difficult to use right next to that binding. But again, over time, we will be there and it will be awesome. And again, I think it's really a minor detail. Now again, I'm just switching up the icon and using that bubblegum ink. Isn't that so cute? I absolutely love it. This box size is perfect for things where I only really need to jot down a couple of little notes and then that's it. It wouldn't work well for things where I have a lot of information that I need to write down, but for, like a work schedule or a school schedule for my son or a basic activity like hitting or something like that, it is perfect. And it leaves that little bit for the icon, which makes it extra cute. Now you can see how this Saturday, Sunday column situation kind of comes into play. It's really just making columns. I don't usually have to-do lists on the weekends. For those of you who have been here a while, you know that that's not new. So that's why having 2 days on one page works fine. So I'm just highlighting important things for the top, and that's it. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave it in the box below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks so much, and make it a great day.